Welcome to Cyber Conversations, the show where it's okay to agree to disagree. My name's Josh. I got Bob, Matthew, Darren, and Heather here today. We were supposed to do Infinity War, but we've put that off until next week because we're going to have a special guest star with us. So in the meantime, we thought we'd kick off the summer season with this special episode about movies that we five can't agree on. Hope you like it. Bob's going to explain how we're going to go about this. So Bob, why don't you take over?
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to do, this is the challenge. We're each going to come up with one movie that we love that most people dislike. I would say hate, but we're going to go with dislike, right? That the general population, whether it's just your group of friends that are like, oh my God, like, why do you like that movie? Then the other thing, then the round, that's round one. Round two is going to be one movie that you dislike that everybody likes, a friend group or the general population. All right, that's going to be round two. We're going to have a middle just hot take discussion between those two rounds. Now, the ground rules of this are we're not here to change people's minds. Wink, wink. We're not personally attacking, right? Because we all agree to disagree and we've all been friends for a while. Matthew, your whole life, and Darren and Josh, we've been friends for 40 plus years. Heather, I met you 5 minutes ago. All right. So no personal attacks. And then you've got to defend your pick like it's your job. It's the hill to die on. Actually, you don't need to go like that, but that just sounded more dramatic. So that's the first thing. So the first question, though, before we get into round one, is which do you think is harder, defending a hated movie or a movie disliked, because hate's a harsh word, or criticizing a movie that everybody loves? Josh, why don't you start us off with that?
I would say that question depends on what you feel stronger about. If you love a movie that everyone hates, I think it's very easy to defend what you like about it. If you hate a movie that everyone loves, it's very easy to find reasons that you don't like it. I don't know if either one is stronger because it really depends. In my opinion, I think it depends on how strongly you feel about it.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Which do you find more difficult, defending a movie that everybody hates that you like, or criticizing a movie that everybody loves but you hate the movie, so you want to criticize it? Darren, why don't you?
Okay.
Or Darren, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, Josh. Finish that.
Well, I would say if you were going to rephrase it that way, I find it easier to talk good about movies I love because that makes me happy.
Yeah, Darren.
Okay. I say defending a hated movie is harder because, well, first off, there's a lot of movie creators out there that already know they have not created cinematic greatness. Some aren't even trying. So there's stuff out there that even the creators already know isn't hitting the mark. And, so there's that. But also, when you're defending a bad movie that you like, you can't fall back on, well, that's just me, and expect people to be swayed. You can't, there's an expectation if you're defending that you're going to present some sort of objective proof, like, relevant themes and lens choices and story structure, So from that perspective, it's a lot harder to defend than criticize. Yeah. Anyway, that's.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay. Go ahead,
I
Heather.
agree. I think you can get away with criticizing a movie you don't like much easier than admitting that you like something when everyone around you thinks it's terrible. Whether they think it's terrible because they have seen it and don't like it, or if they think it's terrible because that's what pop culture says is terrible, is a bad movie. I think it is harder and you're in a more defensive spot in that case, rather than just saying, yeah, I didn't like that movie. I think it's much easier to say that than it is to defend something you like that
Interesting.
nobody else does.
All right. Matthew.
I find it harder to, I don't know, I'm not trying to go against the curve. It's just, there's
Yeah.
movies that, yeah, just
But
for
you
the sake,
do, so go ahead.
yeah,
I'm
so
with you.
I'm going
I love
to.
it. I love
but
it. Bring on the curve.
I think it's harder to go against the crowd. Like, people love, just for example, and more recently, we've done the new Spider-Man movies. People love Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. I don't, and I find it harder to defend my position. Not because I lack conviction or substance in my argument. It's people just don't want to hear it, right? Like, people may be more receptive to being like, well, yeah, I could see how, that movie that I hate, it's a guilty pleasure movie for you, and there's things that you find redeeming about it. Whereas if you go against the majority on a movie that's well received and you just don't like it and you have your reasons, I find that harder personally. So
I find
So Matthew and I both like defending movies that we love rather than putting down movies we hate.
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I don't mind going against other people's opinions if
The question
I feel
was,
strongly
which one
enough
do you
about
find
it.
more difficult?
Which is easier?
Yeah, which one's more
what you're gonna
difficult?
do.
Is that attacking a movie that's well loved? That's harder for me, not because I can't do it. It's because people don't want to listen. I find that more
Right.
difficult.
Yeah.
And Bob, what's your opinion on it?
I don't have a problem doing either or, and I'm not trying to be outside of it, but like I have no problem. So, all right, here we
What's
go.
easier?
Well, in my Bobness, I will bag on a movie hard, and everybody will be like, "What? Like at the end of Total Recall," and Brent got so mad that I
Oh yeah, I
was
totally
like,
remember
"The
that.
ending of that movie sucked." It was at the Cinedome.
It was
The
at
Cinedome, but
Cinedome.
anyway.
Like during the end
thing-
credits, Bob was just bagging on the movie like immediately. Oh my god!
Here's the thing. Because the end was dumb anyway. So I like it now. Well, the end is still dumb. But anyway, here's the thing is that I think that it's harder. Wait, if you're trying to change somebody's mind, whether you're criticizing a beloved movie or you're like, you love this movie and everybody else hated it. If you start, I think to me, it comes down to whether you're taking it personally or not. Like if I'm defending a movie, perfect example, Masters of the Universe, went and saw it. Me and Matthew. Matthew's like, nah, I didn't really like that at all. And I was like, that didn't bother me. I wasn't even going to try because that movie was made for me. And in the Gen X generation, with some of the newer stuff in there, but it had enough of it in there. And it was like, you either liked it or you didn't. And I think that whether you're defending a movie or you're criticizing a movie, loved or hated, whatever, I think that it's the personal factor, And again, if you're trying to change somebody's mind, I think that's the big thing is like, if I'm trying to change your mind, which is, Josh brings it up all the time and it's apropos to mention it now. It's the whole agree to disagree. I mean, how many of us have gone, how many people watching right now and listening on their favorite podcast platform, like and subscribe, are sitting in the parking lot after a movie with their friends and just talk it out and have a good time, whether they're bagging on it or not, and trying to get you know what I mean? Like, I think that defending a movie, I think it's all rather moot, as long as you're not trying to change somebody's mind and it ends up causing like this thing between. But like for me personally, that was a long-winded answer. For me personally, I don't have a problem on either side of it. As long as I don't get too hot about it and I don't take it personally.
I think it's important for me to say because I never have said this, but where I come from when I say that I don't want to try to persuade anyone to see my point of view goes all the way back to when I was in college, where I was taking communication courses and public speaking courses, and they talked about the likelihood, the statistics regarding changing people's minds. And they said, when you're going into people's core opinions, values, and beliefs, you have a 0.07% chance of changing their mind because it's so ingrained into who they are. So my theory has always been that the reason people get so heated when someone disagrees with them about something as simple as a movie is because people are trying to convince them, they're trying to persuade them to their side. And the person who's trying to persuade takes it personally when they can't persuade the person. And the subject, the target of that persuasion, gets offended because someone's questioning their original judgment. And I think that's why, in part, when I say I like the Star Wars sequels as opposed to the prequels, it isn't simply, oh, okay, well, you like your movies, I'll like mine. No, it's, if you like the sequels, you are an evil person. How dare you not like the prequels? It's such a vile thing to people that they have to join this tribe and be.
They take it personally.
That's my theory anyway. That's how this show got started.
Yeah.
All right.
We can still make fun of you, but
Of
that's
course.
not the
Everyone
same thing
does.
as trying to
Gonna mock
persuade your
Josh.
opinion.
I mock
Got
Josh
this,
You know,
yeah.
like
mercilessly.
That's
the
what we
point.
do. That's
Have
what
fun.
people
what we
do.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't take it personally.
Wait till you
You
see
know?
the outtakes. It's like, Josh
Yeah.
is such an idiot. Anyway, so, all right. So here we go. We're going to get into round one. Fight. Just kidding. We're going to do round one. So this is
Movies.
round one is movies that we personally love that other people strongly dislike, hate, vitriol, right? So who would like to go first? Or look at
Well,
Heather.
yeah,
She's
we
Googling right
could.
now. She's Googling. She's
But
Googling.
I,
You Google that, girl. You get that Google.
but
Well,
I don't think that's
for Heather, the moment I say my movie, she's going to be like, "Oh, I got to Google that. I don't know that one." So
Yeah, I
might be me
probably
too.
wouldn't know
That's
a
all
lot of
right,
the movies
Heather,
you guys are talking
I got
about,
you
but that's
I'm
covered.
going to
okay.
I
pause
will.
after I say the name long enough for her to Google it.
Okay, so
I'll go first.
all right,
Let me
so
go first. Let me go first.
all right, so Darren's chomping at the
Chomp-
bit.
Darren goes
I
first.
am. I am. I'm
Darren,
chomping
go
at the-
first.
Okay.
Go first. Movie.
Okay.
The movie that this is. This is the movie that Darren personally loves that most people don't. That's the movie that everybody hates. So go ahead.
Okay. The movie is 13 Ghosts from 2001, starring Matthew Lillard. It's the remake of the 13 Ghosts from the 30s, 40s, something like that. Roughly. I mean,
It's an old story. Yeah.
very,
Okay.
very loosely
What's-
based, as it were.
What's the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Okay.
Do you
Rotten
know?
Tomatoes was tomato meter was 19%, and popcorn meter was 49%. So
Okay. All right.
pretty.
Why
relative,
do
relatively low.
people dislike it? Because I
Okay.
got to be honest with you, I think I watched half that movie back
Okay,
when it came out,
exactly.
so I remember
Yeah.
nothing. So give us a
Exactly.
quick synopsis.
Oh,
not a
of the movie
long-winded.
itself?
Not a long-winded.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
dude. Just
No, we
Okay.
can't do it. We can't do a synopsis of them.
Okay,
you
let me
can
at
read the
least give-
tomato
I'll give-
meter thing. You can
I'll
read
give
the
you.
Rotten
I'll
Tomatoes.
give you
It's like,
three, just three phrases.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Haunted house, insane relative, and arcane, ancient, murderous beings. There you go.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Why people dislike it? Schlocky horror, simplistic, wasn't connected to anything people knew. It just didn't hit those things. I think it was awesome because of the unique monsters. Each of which is worthy of their own movie. Fight me. What does this movie do better than people admit? Efficient world building, as I pointed out. Insane relatives, evil packs, trapped ghosts. It writes itself.
Okay.
Was it misunderstood? No. The facts of the movie are there. It is what it is.
But you enjoy
I
it.
enjoyed it for those reasons, for what it okay. And other people didn't enjoy it for what it actually
Fair.
was. Nobody was reading into it, I don't think, or I don't think people who liked it are reading more into it than it has. Was it ahead of its time? I would say yes. For its pantheon of fun, creepy monsters, where each monster had its own unique characteristic, like it had its own, trading card worthy persona and visuals that were really fun, so that was kind of ahead of its time, where every movie's trying to become a t-shirt and a mug and this one had it in spades. Is nostalgia involved? For me, on my opinion, no, it was a reaction to the movie as it was, as I saw it in 2001, and it hasn't my opinion hasn't changed. So for me, nostalgia's not involved. So yeah, it's
All right.
it's a deep cut, and I don't know if Matthew or would even know of that movie.
Who's seen 13 Ghosts?
I've heard of
I
it.
admit, yeah, I've heard of it. I've never seen it. I have seen the kill count for it.
Okay, so you've seen
Those
all
are
the
always fun to
monsters.
watch.
You've seen all the monsters.
Yeah, I've seen
All right.
because it didn't interest me at all. I won't spoil a movie with a kill count if I'm thinking of seeing it, but 13 Ghosts didn't look interesting to me, so I just watched the kill count.
I remember seeing the poster because Dad worked at Blockbuster for my whole childhood.
Yeah,
so
that
Stop
mosaic.
kidding me. Stop it. Just because I worked at Hollywood Video and Blockbuster.
And I thought it was a really cool cover for the DVD box art, which, in the day of streaming, you don't really get to admire that as much anymore. So it sounds interesting, Darren.
All right. Okay, so that was Darren's. Unfortunately,
Darren's
none of us
choices.
can. Yeah, Darren's choice is one that none of us have watched, and I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of all of us.
Then I picked the right one. I got the right one.
Yeah, you win. You win that
I
one.
win.
Okay.
I win.
So, all right, who wants to go next?
All
All
right.
right.
I guess I can. I guess
All
I
right,
can.
Heather,
I don't
go.
have as much to say. I don't have as much to say about my movie as Darren. Darren apparently did
Okay,
more
so
homework.
this
I did
is
the homework.
This is
Yes.
Heather's movie that she personally loves that most people don't like. I'm trying to be as gentle as I can with that.
Okay.
All right, what is it? What movie is it?
So kind of a cluster of movies, but I'll pick one of them. Encino Man. The Pauly Shore 90s stuff or
I love
80s,
that
I don't know,
movie.
is it 80s,
Yeah,
90s?
I love that
I
movie.
Love
love
that
all the
movie.
Pauly Shore stuff, and that always
I don't
got
have
so
a
much
strong
flack for
opinion either
being
way of
just
that movie.
dumb. But you know, for me, I always found Pauly Shore absolutely hilarious. I disappointed that he wasn't in more movies as I got older. So
Okay, that
He's
I
the
just
yeah,
perfect
Rotten Tomatoes scores, which is about the only thing I looked up, was Encino Man's a 17% Rotten Tomatoes score. But in the Pauly Shore era, you also had Biodome,
Yeah, I figured
4%,
Biodome would. Yeah,
and
I saw that
Son-in-Law,
lower.
33%. And all three of those, I have such fond memories of
Yeah, I
them.
love all
Just a
three
lot
of
of
them.
fun.
I
Yeah.
didn't
So
like the Jury Duty one, but Biodome
That
was
one I don't remember
excellent.
as much, but the other those other three, but specifically Encino Man, I just remember watching it a lot. I remember really liking it.
I never
I
knew
remember a
that.
lot of other people thinking, like, rolling their eyes, like that's a stupid movie.
I
well, yeah,
never
and
But
knew
you're
that people
yeah,
didn't
it was
like.
stupid, but that
well,
was
that's the
part
thing
of the
is
fun.
right. And Heather has a point is back when it came out, Encino Man, it was kind of frowned upon. Sure, now it's like after years and years and years and years of time, everybody's like, oh, what a cult classic. You know, you got Brendan Fraser in there, you got, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a classic, you know, and it's like, but yeah, back then, yeah, it was just like,
it
oh,
was the
Pauly
stupid
Shore's
movie. Yeah.
stupid. And that same thing with Son-in-Law. That's another great example. That's like
Yep. Yeah.
that's like the Thanksgiving movie that I think of when it's like, what Thanksgiving movie? That and Mystic Pizza are the only Thanksgiving movies, in my humble opinion.
Yeah,
Who wants
serendipity, man.
Matthew? You want to go? I want to hear Matthew's.
This was
Matthew's
really
movie. This is Matthew's movie that he loves that most people don't like. I want to get that out there before.
And
we talk about
remember,
each other.
Matthew,
Go.
you are in closer physical proximity to Bob, so watch it.
there's so many that I grew up with that I, really liked as a kid. And I mean, yeah, I could name a bunch of them. The Star Wars prequels always felt like an uphill battle with the boomers and the Gen X people at the time, but now they're well liked, so I can't do that. I really struggled with this, but I think I'm going to settle on Jumper. I really like Jumper. I thought it was I almost did Terminator Salvation, but I think, Jumper's a bit of a deeper cut, and I don't think it gets the recognition it deserves. I know a lot of Gen Z people on social media have been kind of giving this movie some love, along with Push and then Chronicle. They call that like the holy trinity of like superhero movies that aren't really about superheroes. I remember seeing this movie in theater with my brother and then a friend and a friend's mom, because we were young at the time and it was PG-13 movie, so we couldn't get in by ourselves. And I really liked the premise. I liked that it explained the powers that went along with it.
Did it?
I can get why he had to know a location in order to teleport to it.
They explained how it in universe was supposed to function.
Like how his limitations with the power, like he couldn't just go anywhere, right? I can see why some people didn't like the villain. I remember not liking the villain's motivations. I thought they were kind of flat. We talk about one-dimensional villains all the time, but I thought that the scenery and the cinematography of this movie was really well done. And maybe it's nostalgia. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I don't know. I really like it, and I'm a sucker for my boy Anakin. So
Hayden Christensen, yes.
So that would probably be my movie that is not super well liked. It does have a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow,
And
that's
a
lower than I thought it would be.
44% from the popcorn meter. I guess I'd have to go rewatch it to maybe give it a proper score, but I don't know. I like it. I thought it had a lot of potential, and I wish we had gotten a sequel because I felt like they left it open for a sequel. So,
And I think that's a good. See, I thought Jumper. I thought it was okay.
no,
I just thought the
no.
movie.
You grew up. I grew up. You hated that movie. You were like, that movie.
Okay,
sucked.
fine. I hated that movie. And it's not because it was just, but really it came down to just a poorly executed movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, cool concept, cool stuff. But in my opinion, I felt like it wasn't, it just could have been, made differently, just different plot and that type of thing. And I think, but at the same time, and I'll just throw this in there, is like, I feel like there's a lot of movies that I've watched where I'm like, God, I love that movie. And I don't love it because it was great. I love it because I see the potential, of what the movie could do. We've joked about Robot Jocks, which is just a 10 out of 10. No, I'm kidding. But Robot Jocks is amazing.
All metrics.
Ahead of its time. cheeseball movie, but you can really see the passion of what they were trying to do there. Anyway, Josh, do you want to go or do you want me to go for the next
Well,
one?
I can go, although I was actually surprised at the score. Rotten Tomato score was higher for this movie than I thought it would be because I've never met anyone who liked it other than me, and that was I was worried when you brought up Terminator Salvation because that's a little bit close. I was thinking of Terminator Dark Fate. I enjoyed it, but I've never met anyone else who likes it. But it still scored well according to Rotten Tomatoes. It had a 70% for critics and 82% for audiences, so I don't really know if that counts. But
Are you
I know a lot of people.
conflating Terminator Genesis with Dark Fate? Because those two
No,
came around. Okay.
no, because Genesis is a movie that I think is okay, but for the most part, I agree with the public that it just wasn't that good. It had a great idea, but the biggest conceit of it, like the biggest idea in it, was spoiled by the trailers, which was that John was a Terminator. But Terminator Dark Fate, like
I haven't even
agree-
seen it.
but I mean, I have heard and I agree with some of the audience that the biggest problem with Terminator Dark Fate is that they take the hero of Terminator Judgment Day, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, John Connor, and they kill him before the beginning credits. They kill him in the first 5 minutes. And watching it, it seems like the only reason to kill him is so that they can have a girl as the protagonist, because God forbid we have a boy. But it doesn't matter because the story was done so well. I loved the action in it. I loved the storyline. I loved seeing this new Terminator that after he completes his mission, learns empathy just from existing. The whole movie I thought was very thought provoking and done really well. I agree with people that they shouldn't have killed off John like that, but I can get past it because the rest of the movie was great.
There were 4 Terminators in that movie. Technically, there were 4 types of Terminators in one movie.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
But
All right.
I really
Although
enjoyed it.
Salvation technically had snakes and motorcycles
Yeah.
that were all Terminators.
Salvation's awesome, and it shouldn't have been hated.
Salvation.
Oh my
You don't
God,
get
I
two,
love
you
Salvation.
don't get 2 picks. You don't get 2
No, I
picks.
don't.
I
But I love
enjoy
that movie.
Salvation
No,
for
but
what
he's
it is.
piggybacking. He's piggybacking Josh's choice.
Hey,
to
I
get his own
enjoyed
point
Salvation
across.
for what it is, but I was disappointed because I watched a Terminator movie to see them stop Judgment Day. I don't really care about things going on after Judgment Day because it's not going to matter if the Terminator movies were successful. But I've always been a sucker for the Terminator movies anyway. I love the Terminator series. I even loved the show, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, except for the ending because it ended on a cliffhanger, which I hate.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys
Bob?
all know. You guys all know my choice because I've already mentioned it in our pre-show meeting, right?
The
I
audience.
The
love.
Mosquito Coast.
No,
I'm
I,
just kidding.
I hate the Mosquito Coast. I will anyway.
Best Marigold Hotel.
I love the from 2010. I love the Last Airbender. I'll watch that thing. I watched the Nickelodeon show. I was a super fan.
I'm out.
I get it, and everything else. Like it's a 5% from critics and a 30% from the popcorn meter from audiences.
That's generous.
Well, I think that it's just again very much. I'm always about like I want to sit down and I want to enjoy a movie. I want to turn off my brain. I want to just enjoy a movie, and whether I was hoping it'd be like as long as you think that it's not going to totally be like the Nickelodeon show is it's still just an enjoyable movie. It's just a stupid fun movie that I like to watch. I know everybody was like, it wasn't like the show and, like their martial arts, it took them too long to bend to their elements and like, all this other stuff. But I just
No
think
clue what you're talking about. so.
It's okay. It's okay, Heather. It's all right. So
Have you
I'll
not
send
seen
you
any Last Airbender?
I have
I
not
have
seen
never-
or anything?
any.
No,
Oh,
I've
you
never
owe
seen
it to
any of
yourself to at least
It's okay.
I mean,
Matthew-
I
Matthew
think I know what the character looks like, but other than that,
Yeah, I know he has that blue thing on his head.
the arrow.
and it was
yeah.
when they had to call it the Last Airbender because they couldn't call it Avatar because James Cameron's Avatar was coming out the same
I
year.
think it already
or it had come out.
The
They
Last
didn't wanna-
Airbender. Yeah, it came out like right after. Like Avatar
and
came
so they
out
had to
first.
rename it the
Yeah.
last year.
Mhm.
It was M Night M Night.
Shyamalan.
Whatever.
Shyamalan.
So I
Ding
can't
dong.
pronounce your name. I'm sorry. And it was like, if I remember correctly, it was like his daughter or I don't know,
His
something like his
kid,
daughter.
yeah.
His kid was like, "Hey, you should make this movie," and he's like, "Okay." And he, at the time, it was like, "Hey, I want to make this movie," and everybody's like, "Okay, here's 20, 30, 40, $50 million to go make it," right? And it's like,
He messed up
you
all
know,
the names. He messed up
and
all the
that's
names.
yeah. See, exactly. So I know whatever. I know all the hate is. I'm just saying that I look at it as one of these movies I could sit down and I can just turn it on. There's background noise. I can
What
sit
was
down and watch it
happening
if
in
I
your
look up.
life that you were so damaged at the time that this was an escape? That
It's
is
called a recession,
traumatic.
Josh. It's called.
That hurts.
Darren.
That hurts. No, it doesn't hurt because I don't really care. I mean, that's the thing. I will sit down and
Who hurt you in 2010? Wow.
No, nobody. It was it is what it is. I like it. And
Can I throw in a runner-up since?
Oh yeah,
Matt,
We're all doing 2 and 3.
Quick runner-up.
And this one maybe you guys will have a little more appreciation for. Batman and Robin. I enjoyed it.
God bless you,
I
Heather.
enjoyed it
God bless you.
for how ridiculous it really was. It was cartoon, but people.
It was the closest to the 1966 camp as you could have gotten in the modern era.
Yes.
It was
When he whips out the Batman MasterCard,
I think
that was sick.
I had so much fun with it. It was colorful and
goofy
and yeah. So.
If you said Batman Forever, I could have gotten behind it, but Batman and Robin, I have tried.
Both of those are awesome.
Watched that movie
Batman
like
and Robin,
2 or
you know
3
what it
times.
is? Guilty pleasure. That's more in the guilty pleasure than like
that's like Superman 4. It's
do
Superman
I think it was like some
bad.
genius plot or something? But no, it was fun and honestly, it was probably one of the first kind of comic book movies that I ever really watched because I just wasn't into comic books. So when that came out and people I was friends with went to go see it, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Fair.
So.
I don't know.
Anybody else got a runner-up?
I have a runner-up. The
we
Core
can't really...
from
love
2003.
The Core. I love The Core.
I think the Core was pretty good.
I love The Core as well.
The Core is so good.
One I liked.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
I think I've seen it, but I'm not remembering.
The Earth stops spinning, and they have to use nukes to restart the spinning of the core. Otherwise, our electromagnetic field will allow the sun to burn us through.
Yeah. That's because Superman wasn't around, but okay.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a conga line of the stupidest pseudoscience that you could possibly string together, but oh my gosh, the human emotion that was happening inside of that deep core train, that was down in the Earth's core was so freaking cool. They're like, no,
and that was a fantastic cast too. I mean, they put together.
Like Delroy Lindo just crushed it in that movie.
Eckhart.
Yeah, Aaron Eckhart. It was.
Wasn't Stanley Tucci in that? Yeah, Hilary Swank.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci. Yeah, it was like, wow.
I love that movie.
It was a popcorn movie,
Stanley
and that
Tucci.
was it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, turn it off. You turn off your brain, and you're just like, and it's like, and these movies that you love, and I'm sure, you guys sound off in the comments, movies you love that people don't like. And I think the nostalgia factor or that time in your life, like Darren was saying, like what happened to me, I was, nothing. But I mean, it's like what's going on, that matters when you go and watch a movie, it's like, like, again, Darren and Josh, we've known each other long enough. There's movies I will always remember that we went and all saw together because we all saw them together. I think that plays an important factor. And I think that whether the movie's crappy or not it doesn't matter. It's good because it was a positive moment. It was a core memory.
It's a bookmark in the book of our lives that we flip back to. Yeah,
that's right. All right. So round one is done. We're going to go on to our midpoint segment.
Who won?
Right?
Who won?
Nobody won because
later
predominantly nobody really saw any of the movies.
I know
that we liked.
There's no
no
head to heads.
Yeah, I mean, I probably lost because at least Matthew could be like, Last Airbender was not very good. But anyway, so we're just gonna go through. We're gonna shoot through these. So, Josh, best movie sequel, go.
This movie sequel, I would say offhand Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Darren, best movie sequel.
Agreed. That was my pick as well. Terminator 2,
Okay.
1991. Yep.
All right, Heather, best movie sequel.
No clue.
All right, pass. Me, best movie sequel. Toy Story 2. Matthew.
That's probably a tie between Shrek 2 and Toy Story 2.
All right. Here's another one. Who do you feel is a very overrated director? Overrated director.
Now or at the time when they
no,
were
no,
no
this
idea.
is so
Of
this,
all time?
this episode isn't like, okay, guys, we're going back 20 years. This is like you could go see a movie yesterday and be like, that movie, that movie's so overrated director of any time period.
I don't really
Dennis
look at
Villeneuve.
directors.
All right, Darren, you can see yourself out.
I
I knew that would
Darren,
hit a
I'm gonna
nerve.
have
It's like,
Darren, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with
disagree. No, you said
I'm not a-
overrated. I didn't say he's not highly rated. You said overrated, and I
did. It said
I think he's
overrated.
I'm not a
over.
big fan. I will admit,
I think
I'm
he's
not
a great
big fan of
director.
it.
I just think he's overrated for what he is doing in the industry.
I will
and-
admit I'm not a big fan of the Dune movies that he's making.
Well, did you read the books?
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
I
but
don't
it
like
does.
them. They're
Did
boring.
you watch the?
No,
did you watch the
they're boring.
1984? Because that's
I
the one that
did.
matters.
I loved it.
That's
I
the one
loved
that
the
matters.
1984. Yeah.
Well, David
David
Lynch
Lynch,
is
the new one,
praising
awesome.
you all from his grave, so
Yeah.
good job.
all right. Let's move on to
Wait,
Wait, no,
what?
everybody
Oh,
doesn't
wait,
have
wait,
director.
did-
Everybody
most
Yeah.
overrated director. Go.
Ridley Scott.
What the heck? I am disowning
What?
you. Why is Ridley Scott?
No,
I
no,
have to know why.
He's got 2 good movies.
He's got more than 2, but give me the 2.
He's got Gladiator, and he's got 3. He's got Alien, he's got Gladiator, and he's got Blade Runner. That's it.
That's it.
The rest
Okay,
is,
I have to agree with.
It
I don't
insists
agree with
itself
his
upon-
pick,
it
but I agree with
insists
his
upon
list.
itself, Lois. It
Okay,
insists
what's
upon
your
itself.
picks? What's your Ridley Scott picks?
My Ridley
Darren.
Scott picks?
Yeah. You said you don't agree with Matthew's picks, so what would you pick?
No,
No, he
I,
said he does.
no, I agree.
said he
I
does
don't. I don't
agree.
agree with the choice of director in
Gotcha.
the whole category of being overrated.
Gotcha.
But I agree with
Gotcha.
that. Those are his best movies for sure.
Got it. All right. How about most underrated actress or actor?
Wait, no, did you guys? Josh didn't do overrated.
I
director?
don't really.
yeah,
I
that's
don't
okay.
care.
You're passing.
don't-
Oh,
I
I'm
don't-
sorry, you're
I don't know
passing.
these
Yeah,
things.
To me,
we're passing.
I don't
sorry.
pay enough
Dad, what about
attention
you?
to
You didn't-
directors.
You didn't pick one.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't count on this one.
What?
What?
Okay.
I,
All right,
I don't
fine.
pay
You think
attention.
they're all
to
great?
Most overrated director, J.J. Abrams.
That's fair. I could see that.
Okay, that's not controversial. It's not controversial.
I'm not
just-
saying,
I
but
just
like
don't- I don't
Darren,
know
I'm
enough
not
to have an
saying
opinion
J.J.
here.
Abrams
Yeah.
is bad. Like, I thought he did amazing with Star Trek, but I think that overrated in the sense that I mean, South Park, we talked about that before the show started. It was like they did a whole episode on J.J. Abrams will save us. You know what I mean? Because he had that sudden thing of like, oh, he can save franchises. And I think that that's a lot of pressure to put on anybody. And I think that is why he can be, it's overrated, but not totally like his own fault and that type of thing. I guess if that makes sense. It's just like, hey, you gotta.
If the rating scale you're using is calibrated properly, then he's overrated.
He's overrated on a
like-
bell curve. On the bell curve.
I mean, I
Do
guess
we
I
even
was
use
thinking,
a bell curve?
when you said it, I immediately in my head I had a picture of Bruckheimer, not Abrams. So in my mind, I was like, why do you not like the Transformers movies? I'm like, and then I thought, yeah, for the narrow thing that Bruckheimer is good at directing, he is overblown. Like he's given more credit for what he is shown to be capable of doing. That's where I because like I said, with overrated doesn't mean you don't think they're good directors. It just means you think what is being attributed to them is over the top, given
Right.
what their body of work is presenting. So that's
All
I
right.
just Googled it. Bruckheimer has never directed any movies. He's just a producer.
he's just
Yeah.
a producer. Okay,
Yeah.
well then that's why he's overrated, is because he keeps getting conflated with.
Well, he's not
the-
even a director you can
he's
overrate.
not even a director.
So he's an overrated producer.
Producer. Okay, well, yeah.
All right, so let's
What he
move on to
produces
the next
is
one.
overrated. There we go. That's
Okay. Most underrated actor or actress.
Underrated or overrated?
Underrated.
So an actor
Federated.
that you think is better than everyone else thinks? I don't know anyone.
Who do you feel like is underrated?
Or underappreciated.
Underappreciated.
I'm gonna
got
go.
one.
Oh
Well,
man, that person does like doesn't matter if they're in the movie 15 minutes. They're like amazing every time they
I've
hit the
said
screen.
many times who I think my favorite actor is. He's got lots of accolades, so I don't really know if he's underrated.
Well, who
But
say it?
This
Say who
is
it is.
underrated.
John Lithgow, I think, is
No,
He is
that's
not
that's a
underrated
fair.
at all.
talented.
I can
But he's not
I can see
underrated.
where though
Doesn't
maybe some
qualify.
people give him a little
I
bit.
think he's one of the most talented.
Underappreciated might
Underappreciated,
fit better
yeah.
Maybe.
there.
I can go with
He's
that.
the most I think he's the most talented, versatile actor I've ever seen because he plays so many vastly different roles.
John Big
Whereas
Booty.
if you were saying overrated, I'd immediately say Jack Nicholson. And that's not to say I don't love Jack Nicholson. I love Jack Nicholson, but I don't think he's versatile. Every single part he plays is Jack Nicholson.
I'll give you 3 John Lithgow movies you should watch: Buckaroo Banzai, Cliffhanger, and the Twilight Zone movie. I think that is a trifecta of John Lithgow's acting ability. All those are different, and I think they're all really good.
Add to that Raising Cain.
Terms
of endearment.
Absolutely, Raising
terms of
Cain.
endearment.
Dexter
Terms of
season
endearment.
4.
Think about this. Compare him in terms of endearment to Cliffhanger.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, you
That's
want to see
range,
someone
baby.
who's versatile.
Yeah.
In terms of endearment, he's this little nebbish, timid guy who can't ask anyone. He's just like he's tall, but he shrinks in himself because he's all hunched over because he's so nervous. And then you watch him in Cliffhanger, where he's
blowing
just
people
this
away and just a
vile,
total dick. Yeah.
redeemless,
Right.
evil person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's next? Matthew, do you have anybody? Actor, actress, underrated,
I have
underappreciated?
I've got 2.
Go.
I'm gonna go Steve Buscemi. I think Steve Buscemi's very underrated. I don't think he gets a lot of credit. And Dad, I know you and I have talked about this, how he just kind of puts himself in whatever character.
Yeah.
He pulls that character, even if it's a small character. Like I think about like the Big Lebowski. He's not really in that much. I mean, he is, but his character's smaller, and he's still really memorable. And then
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
You're out of your element, Donnie. And then Michael Fassbender, I think, is a little underrated as well.
Yeah.
I think his performance in Steve Jobs is one of the most memorable of the 2010s. So
Yeah.
I really like him. I think he's a very versatile actor.
Okay.
It's funny. I just watched Con Air, and Steve Buscemi's in that, and he plays like
Yeah.
the most
Hannibal
violent
Lecter.
serial
Yeah.
killer. Like they take him out of the truck, and
He's
they're
got
like
the whole
they're like got rods
world
on him, and he's
in
like
his hands.
right. So good. He's so good. Heather, what do you got? You got anybody? Actor, actress you feel like should get more credit than they're due?
Can't really. I can't think of one on the spot. I know you're doing this hot take thing, but I'm terrible at coming up with these on the spot.
Okay.
Sorry.
It
All
was
right.
in the
Here,
outline, Heather. It was
I
in
do
the
have a-
outline.
I've got one for
I do have
Heather.
another.
I
I do
got
have
one.
another
Go.
person that I also like a lot. Is
Wait,
Robert
I got one.
Duvall.
Let me go.
Go ahead,
I
Darren.
got
I'm
one.
sorry.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
I think he's
seen him in a
underrated.
couple of things.
I mean, he
Yeah.
was kind of
In
typecast for
Terminator
so many
2?
years because
Yeah.
of Terminator 2. He was typecast.
It's hard to see him as
But
anyone else.
in recent
Terminator 2
years,
and
like
Wayne's
in
World.
recent decades, he kind of gets himself, like the jobs he gets, or the acting jobs he gets, the characters he gets aren't as deep as they could be. He plays
he was
a
the
good
bad guy in Reacher season 2. I
Reacher.
think.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I mean,
Yeah.
for the roles he gets, he plays them to the hilt, and he's such a good match for those. He plays a really good gruff military guy, and he plays a really good unhinged villain. So
Yeah.
I mean, his range, I guess maybe I'm saying his range isn't that great, but for what he does, he is being underappreciated as far as what he's capable
Matthew.
of doing.
Here's
Matthew, what do you have?
here's Heather's pick.
All right, Heather's pick. Matthew.
Courtesy of me, I'm going to give you one.
Okay.
It's going to be Vera Farmiga. I hope I'm saying her last name right. From the Conjuring movies, and then she was in Up in the Air, and she's in The Departed. I really think she's got a lot of depth, a lot of range there. And I know she's been kind of typecast in these Conjuring movies, but I think she deserves a little bit more credit. A little underrated there.
Okay. I don't have an opinion about that one.
All right. How about
She was also the mom in Bates Motel. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Bob,
That
did
was
you
good.
have
She's
someone?
good in the Conjuring movies? Underrated or underappreciated? I'm trying to think.
Henry
Here.
Cavill. I'm just kidding.
No, Henry Cavill's. I appreciate Henry Cavill.
He's very appreciated.
I'm very appreciative of Henry Cavill. I'm trying to think of who underappreciated actor, actress.
We can come back to it.
No, wait.
Yeah, we
who's the
can- we
guy?
can-
Who's the guy in the deep blue? And he's in Leon the Professional. You like him a lot.
Oh, Jean Reno.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's good.
I haven't seen him
he's
in
not
much.
underappreciated.
Yeah, I don't know if he's necessarily
He's getting exactly
underappreciated.
the amount of press that he, deserves, which is
Okay.
a lot. I mean,
I think for a time there, if I look
if he
at it,
walks
if I look
around down the
back at
red
it-
carpet, people are going to notice. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think if I look back on it, one of the people that I thought back in the day was underappreciated, and I'm not trying to. It's just I just suddenly thought of it was way back in the day. I think Gary Oldman was not as appreciated back in the day. I mean, now he's done so much stuff, and Sirius Black, and he's been But
Yeah.
you mentioned The Professional, and I'm like, I remember that when he came on, I always thought he was awesome, and I think that he was. He was underappreciated.
He was explosive in his violence in that movie, or in his
Well,
villainy
yeah.
in that
If you
movie.
read
I will-
about that in The Professional, but I mean, other stuff that he did back then. Another person I think was underrated and probably could have gone a little further was Julian Sands. I don't know if you
Tragic,
guys remember
but
him
yeah.
from Warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Warlock.
He
That was a
he
good
passed
movie.
away a couple years
And
ago. I think.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah,
in
but
the
I think-
wilderness in a hike. He got
on
lost and
hiking. But
perished. Yeah.
I think that he was. I mean, I know there was kind of a core fan base just because of the Warlock and some of the other horror movies that he did. But at the same time, I think he really had some acting chops, and I think he could have done a lot more. I think that was pretty good. So
He was in Stargate
anyway.
SG-1 in the last season.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Very cool.
We're gonna jump. We're gonna jump here. We're gonna jump into round 2, which is movies that we personally hate or strongly dislike. Yeah, that everyone else seems to love. So same as round 1. Gonna give the title, look up the Rotten Tomatoes score, and kind of talk about it, and we'll either gently bag on you and agree to disagree in a gentle, loving fashion, or we'll all be like, yeah, you're right. So who wants to start this round?
I'll go.
Darren again. Dude, you are an overachiever today.
I am.
Wow.
I am. I'm gonna say one word, and I'm just gonna sit back and watch Josh's head explode. Because
Josh, turn
I
your
just-
camera off.
it
No,
only
leave it
takes-
on
yeah.
because that'll be good. People want to watch your head explode. In fact, you know what? I'll do it in post. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, really. Hook from 1991. It has to be said.
What?
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people
Disagree if you
Darren.
A lot of
like.
people.
Darren.
A lot of people don't like that
30s.
movie.
37
I-
on Tomato Meter.
Hang on.
76
Let
on
Darren- no,
Popcorn
Darren.
Meter.
Let Darren talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
37
Okay.
Tomato, 76 Popcorn. Why people love it? Robin Williams, of course. Why do I think everyone's wrong? Not for Robin Williams. Not for Robin Williams. That is for sure. The film just doesn't rise above other fantasy films of its time in the late 80s and early 90s. It's Neverending Story was more entertaining and a thinker. I mean, there was no thinking involved with Hook, and I guess you could argue, well, that's why we liked it.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions: is it actually bad, or is
And
it
that's
just
we'll
not
get
for
to that.
you?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. What does this movie do that is worse than people admit? It's a standalone in that, or it can't stand alone, which means you already have to have known or already formed an opinion about Peter Pan, the story of Peter Pan. And you can't even approach this movie in a meaningful way without already knowing that going in, which
Question.
Yes.
But then does that by extension mean that you don't like Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, or Return of the King? They presuppose you've seen Fellowship of the Ring.
I didn't say my argument was logical.
No, that's the thing. This is Darren. This is good because this
That's
is
a good
Darren.
point. No, that's a
question.
really good point.
But it's
Again,
Peter Pan
Darren's
has been around
opinion
since
that he
before
doesn't.
the turn of the
this
century.
is
So
I'm trying
ahead.
to give logical reasons for things that are completely emotional attached to me directly. So let me get
I will-
So is it
Yeah,
overrated?
it's called
I-
trying to justify your opinion, which we
Yeah.
all do.
Yeah.
yeah,
Is
Yeah.
it overrated?
I'm not
Yes.
saying you're wrong.
I think it's overrated because and mostly retroactively in this present time looking back at it. it's gotten way more, I think, than it did at the time.
The only
was-
thing is, I don't really know if a lot of people like it. I know that movie was ragged on. I thought I was one of the few people who loved it.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was one of my favorite kind of, younger
I think
life
I
movies,
will
for
say
sure.
this. I don't know if it was a recent interview with Steven Spielberg, but I caught it when I was scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, where he was saying that the person, the host was like, "What movie would you redo?" And he's like, "Hook," because he felt like there wasn't enough of a second act to the movie, and he would like to redo that and add a little more in there. But regardless of that, I don't know.
Okay.
I always liked Hook. Josh loved Hook.
Loved
yeah.
it.
Loved it.
I'll have to admit, it was ahead.
That was his identity for like 6 months.
It
Well-
was ahead of its time with special effects. The problem was Jurassic Park surpassed it just 2 years later, as far as special effects go.
Listen, I got one word for you on why Hook is amazing. Rufio. That's it.
Rufio.
Rufio.
It happened with The Last Airbender for me.
I was just graduating
missed the
high school, so I was kind of looking forward in a weird. This is the way I see it. Is like I think I was looking too far forward. I was going. I'm going into I'm being more of an adult. I'm heading into adulthood. So having a movie that was all about let's stay a kid and blah 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 at that exact moment in my life, that is the movie I did not want to acknowledge. That's nowhere in what I wanted to think about in my life was trying to stay a kid. I wasn't trying to stay a kid. So I was, and that's,
But I
and
wouldn't
that's,
say that.
Listen, I got
But I'm-
video of you on your 21st birthday, air
I know.
guitaring and singing a song. So
that,
yeah, you
that
were a
doesn't
kid.
mean I don't
What
have
was hap-
fun. It's just,
What was happening in your 1991, Darren?
I will
I got a
say, like
list.
but
I was there.
I know,
But
you
my
know,
head
it
does.
is.
No, Josh, go ahead.
Yeah.
but my head's not going to explode over that. You have valid reasons for not liking it. I liked it, but I
I know. I did it for the
like
somebody.
I went into it with it wasn't just Robin Williams has always been like my idol, my role model. And but I also was a huge fan of the character of Peter Pan. Now, I'm not talking about the Disney movie. I'm talking about the book. I read what is it, 1894, I think? I forget when Peter and Wendy came out, but I read James Barrie's play that started the whole thing. I was always a fan of the character and the idea of a baby who was terrified of growing up and chose to stay a kid forever. And if you haven't read the book, it's stated outright that Hook is not a bad guy. He's an adult from the point of view of a child who doesn't like adults, but he isn't an altogether evil person. Disney made him more evil than he actually was in the book. In the book, he just
Interesting.
hates the fact that Peter has good form, that quote unquote. Like he thinks Peter has good form in everything he does. But what's worse is he doesn't even know he has good form, which is the best form of all. And Hook gets jealous and angry about it, But the whole idea of time catching up to him that's signified by the crocodile that ate the clock.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Heather.
I'm more of a Hook character right now than I ever was back then, for sure.
Or no, you're not. Heather, what's your movie that everyone that you don't like, that you strongly dislike, but everybody else likes it?
All right, Rocky Horror Picture Show. I just
Ooh.
don't get it.
On board with that one.
I mean,
stab me in the heart.
I appreciate that other people like it, and can I sit there and watch it and enjoy the songs or whatever else? But I just don't get how it became like that super cult following thing. I think it's cheesy and trashy, and I get it. I get that. I get
You
that.
said it
It was
wrong.
just
It's audience participation.
That was well done. Well done, Josh.
And if you
Yeah,
don't like Rocky Horror
yeah.
Picture Show, you're not going to get that.
I guess I just missed the boat on that one. Kind of like what you're saying, just, I missed that wave of everybody getting so hyped up about it. I mean,
Willing to say it's overrated. I like it. I enjoy going to the showings where the audience does participate and yell at the screen and throw rice.
toast. Yeah.
Yeah,
Throw roast.
but-
Yep.
Yeah,
Lighters.
but at the same time, the movie itself, I would never watch it without being in an
Yeah,
audience.
it's
I'll
highly
never
rated for
rent
the
it.
experience, yet overrated for the nuts and
As
bolts
a
of
movie,
the
it's
movie
just
itself.
kinda-
Like if you
Yeah.
You take it
Yeah.
outside of the experience that was created around it, the movie is arguably not great.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It is hard to explain though
but
why
the
it was
shell
so
around
successful.
it is, amazing.
I do
think,
find
though,
it.
you got to say Tim Curry was amazing.
Okay.
He was
was.
amazing.
He
I
Yeah,
mean, he wasn't
I mean,
okay. He
I
was
like the
he was
people.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like
it's
he was.
it's just
yeah.
the particular movie, and I just don't get why everybody seems
It gets
to
weird
like
really
it.
fast. I
And-
agree,
It
Heather.
gets weird really fast.
Super
Yeah.
I mean, it's
fast.
weird for today. Imagine how weird it was
Yeah.
back
the
then.
70s.
My God. It was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Reminds
Matthew,
me
what
of the
do you-
whole 6-7 craze right now. It's like I don't get it. So
that
You
was
know,
so
it's not-
2025.
What I used to say though was that it was odd to me that Rocky Horror Picture Show got so much fame when it was so similar to another musical from around that time, which was Vampire Lesbians of Sodom. But no one ever made a movie out of it. So
I think it's the title that really
I
lost
watched
it.
the crap out of that, Josh.
no clue.
Branding.
It's
That's
a-
what
it's-
left.
Exactly,
Yeah.
branding. All right, Matthew, I want to hear Matthew's movie. He loves that or
No,
he
no, no.
hates that most
Yeah.
people love.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch some serious flack for this one, and it's going to be 2001 A Space Odyssey. Do not. I get the story. I get the premise.
then you're one up on me. I have no idea. I like it, but I don't understand it
I
at all.
don't like it. I find it extremely boring. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to change my answer. Never mind. I thought of a worse one. Dumb and Dumber. I hate that movie. I hate Dumb and Dumber so much, and everybody loves it and claims it's one of the greatest comedies ever put to film. And I'm like, where
I'm
is
actually
it?
on Matthew's side on
Wha-
that.
If you don't
Not
like
big-
Dumb and Dumber, are you saying you don't
a
like?
lot of these slapstick comedies? I never watch because it has no appeal to me. And I
okay,
don't
well then-
understand how everybody likes that kind of
Wait,
stuff
where
so
do you
much.
put Dumb and Dumber in relationship with Me, Myself, and Irene? That's what I want to know.
I've not seen that.
I've
But
Oh,
watched
you
Dumb and
cannot
Dumber.
hate Dumb and Dumber if you have not seen. You
Yeah.
will have a new hate if I understand this aspect of what you're saying about Dumb and Dumber that you
You're
didn't
really
connect with.
selling it.
You're really gonna hate Me,
But, all
Myself,
right,
and
no,
Irene.
I'll go back to my original. I just recall not liking Dumb and Dumber, but no, 2001: A Space Odyssey, super high concept film. It's super. I mean, it's wonderful to watch, like visually, but it's so boring
Yeah.
as a
It's
story
very slow.
and as
Almost
as
everyone says that. Like,
but it's
you're
well
not alone.
it's well received. If I look at Rotten Tomatoes, it's 90%
Yeah, yeah.
critics and 88% users love it. And I thought I'd like it. Maybe I'm not a Kubrick guy. There's no story. I mean,
Yeah,
there is a
everyone
story, but
says-
it's so
yeah.
thin, and it's like I don't know.
No,
I don't know
everyone
why
says
this is
the same
loved.
thing. It's always like either love it or hate it with that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who's just like, eh. No,
You know what the
either
thing-
they think it's the next greatest thing, before it was like the best thing ever, or they hate it. It's completely boring and nonsensical.
Now,
The
if you'd
thing-
asked me,
I'm in the
if,
meh category.
if you'd asked me 15 years ago, I would have said The Godfather is my movie that I hate. But I rewatched that recently, and I like it now. So
Bob, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say the thing that I find interesting, I've always thought about with 2001 and then 2010 after it is, to me, it reminds me of Alien and then Aliens.
yeah,
you
but
went from
Alien
like,
is better than Aliens.
dude, seriously, I'm going to come over to your house and I'm going to,
But
I'm
that's
going to get the
true.
wooden spoon.
They're very
and go
different
to
types
work.
of movie, and I don't think they can be really compared.
No, but what
because
I'm saying
Terminator
is
1 is
horror
better than
movie.
Terminator 2.
2002, all I was saying,
You,
let me make the point.
you're gonna catch some hands, my friend.
Seriously, I got a can of
Go ahead,
whoop
Bob.
ass somewhere here. Anyway, so what I was gonna say is like Alien was like very much a horror movie in space, but then Aliens was like an action movie
It's
with
an
some horror
action
mixed
movie.
in. So 2001 was like, yeah, it was very slow, it was very much a thinking type of movie, and then 2010 it like was way more. I don't want to say still like it had more action,
Alien
it was a little
mystery.
lighter. Yeah, it
But
was
see,
just
there's-
more of like, and they went back and explained some of the stuff from 2001.
Well, maybe I'll have
And,
to go watch that. I get the story of 2001, but I don't think it's a thinking movie. I think it's an art piece that was captured on film, and it has a
Stanley
very
Kubrick
thin...
is always about art pieces, though. That's
Well,
the
I
thing.
get.
That's
Well, then
his
why?
style.
Yeah, but everybody
also
considers
that-
this his best film, or one of his best films, and I just There's no thinking behind it. It's the monkeys find a monolith and it progresses evolution, and then they find another monolith on like Jupiter's moon or something, and then it progresses evolution. It's like there's no thinking behind that.
Okay, watch
Yeah, there's not much-
2010. Watch 2010, and maybe that'll help with.
I'm not trying to
2001.
convince anybody. It's just that's where I stand.
Yeah,
I think it's a
I'm not
very
even-
boring movie.
Yeah, I'm basically on Matthew's side. It is an art piece that's very boring, and you watch it when there's nothing better to do, or don't watch it at all. But I think also it was partially that era, because that was out in the late 70s, and the other another big
Late 60s.
Late 60s.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, late 60s. But not long, I guess it was about 10 years later, but when they did Star Trek, the motion picture. And that's another one that a lot of people call it Star Trek, the slow motion picture, because
It was a slow.
it was very slow. I enjoy that movie for what it is. I can enjoy it, but at the same time, yeah, there's lots of these long, drawn out shots of this like amazing looking space, and the areas within Beecher that the Enterprise goes to. I mean, there's a 6-minute introduction to the Enterprise where we have 6 full minutes of the movie going glamour shots of the
Flying around it,
Enterprise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that ship was
it's not even
aura
flying,
farming the
it's-
whole time.
Yeah, it's just sitting in dry dock, and we got different camera angles, and it's 6 freaking minutes. But that was the time, I guess, and probably because producers or directors just wanted to show off what we could do technologically with movies or something. I don't know if that's what
Yeah.
the thinking was.
Yeah. All right,
And then am I next, or do you want to go, Bob?
you go.
I'm worried about the flack I'm going to get, but I can't stand Forrest Gump. I think that movie has nothing interesting to
Okay,
say.
You
so
have
what's
no
what's
soul.
what's
I
the
will
Rotten
say that-
Tomato? Hang on, Josh.
Rotten Tomatoes, I looked it up. Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 75% among critics and 95% among audiences. That's a universally loved movie. I've never heard anyone say anything against it other than me. I don't hate every single bit about it. I will say that the performances that the actors give are great. They're all very talented actors. I'm not just talking about Tom Hanks. I'm talking about Sally Fields. And I mean, virtually everyone in that movie is very talented. And the soundtrack kicks some serious ass. Love the soundtrack. But the story, I hated it. I hate the fact I look to a protagonist to move the story along. This is a protagonist that has nothing to do with the events.
Yeah, that's
it's
the whole
stuff that
point.
happens,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens to
but
him.
nothing happens. And
Yes.
the only thing he wants, he doesn't get. At least not in the long term. It just
Yeah,
I found it
until the end.
completely depressing. He doesn't get her at the end. She dies.
Well, but he
doesn't
gets
get
her.
at the end.
But he gets her, but
Yeah.
she
Gets her,
dies.
but she dies. To me, the whole movie is just
Yeah, but that's
He gets a
the
son.
whole movie to
That's
me is a
realistic.
lesson in
It's
depression.
heart wrenching.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter whether it's. I don't go to movies to see realistic. I go to movies for escape, and I found this movie to be just really depressing. Other people call it inspiring, and I'm like, he didn't inspire me to do anything.
It was inspiring in the sense of life is going to happen, and it's how you accept it, how you
it's
deal,
like a
how
box
you know.
of chocolates,
It's
man.
your reaction to life. Like you could fight tooth and nail, or just accept that life comes at you the way it comes at you. I don't know.
I already
To me,
knew that.
that's something that I enjoy about the movie. Oh, it's journeying with the character in the movie.
I could
through that,
see
so.
I could see some of Josh's like gripes with like
It's a gripe, Josh. It's not a critique.
It's a no, but I could see it. He could be critical, whatever you want to call it, whatever superlative
word.
you want, whatever superlative you want to use.
Yes. That's a $10 word.
That's it. Yep. I don't know. I get it because it is all reactionary and everything has to be done for him until he buys the boat, and like he signs up for the military. Or no, he gets drafted, doesn't he?
Yeah, for virtually everything happens to him.
Yeah,
He
I can
doesn't
see how
actually
that's-
initiate anything. The one thing he does for himself is run. That's it. He decides to run one day, but he didn't do it. Like, he didn't inspire the people to follow him. They followed him because they didn't have anything better to do or something. They decided, he's running
super
years.
realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's if anything,
in
that's
this
a good
day and
commentary.
age, yeah, it's like that's it.
Society.
But the point is,
That's what we're
like,
hoping that people are going to do.
but for the whole story, he doesn't actually cause things to happen. Things
Right.
just happen to him. I don't want to
Well,
watch
it's
a
about how
movie.
he reacts. Yeah.
That's
He
But
Yeah.
doesn't,
yeah,
though. I don't know.
I accept that you do not like that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will listen to the soundtrack.
It
I'll
won a
listen the
couple
hell out of
Oscars,
that
Josh,
soundtrack.
so it's okay. I'm just kidding.
It's okay.
That's
So
okay.
did
No, Josh.
so did my left
It's-
foot. So
it's
did
good.
the pianist.
Yeah, but my left foot's good,
But-
and Daniel Day-Lewis is a fantastic actor.
You like when good guys win. You like
Yeah.
feel good movies. And
Yeah.
Well, no, I
so I
think
get
what-
it. When it's a more cathartic kind of journey,
I
it's not your
definitely-
movie. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't like tragedies. I don't like watching movies with sad endings.
You need to
I
talk
don't
to
like
my wife.
movies-
She is exactly the same way. She avoids every movie that even has the whiff of potential to make her melancholy in the briefest whiff of
Yeah,
melancholy.
don't-
And she will
No,
steer away from
I
it.
don't wanna
Go,
watch
no,
a
no, no,
those
no, no.
out like I'm a
Yeah, I
magnet.
don't
for
want to
those
watch
kind
a
of
movie that
movies.
makes me cry. I have no desire to watch a movie that makes me cry because I don't enjoy being sad and I don't enjoy crying. I sometimes cry at the movies I do go to, but for different, like I cried at Infinity War. I mean, not Infinity War, Endgame.
I cried at
I
Endgame.
cried at Endgame when everyone came back. But
Of course, everybody
it was
did.
good crying, but I didn't.
I cried
It was
because Iron Man
heroic
died.
crying.
and I cried for Iron Man when he died. But-
movies that we hate that everyone loves. But I might need Matthew's help with this because I'm thinking of one movie that I hate. I mean, I think it's okay now. I liked the 20 sequels that came after it. Because, like, I'll bring up a movie at home. I'll be like, God, I really like this movie. And Matthew will be like, What? You hate this movie? And I'll be like, Well, I like it now because I'm an old man. But I'll tell you a movie, the only one I could really think of, and that's why I need Matthew's help because he could probably do some more recent. I remember when the first Fast and the Furious movie came out.
Mhm.
Okay. And I watched that movie and I was like, with this shitty acting, shitty script, shitty plot, like it was just shit. And I was like, why is everybody into this movie? Like, I don't understand it. Now I've come to appreciate it. I enjoy the sequels, even though they're like the Fiero in space, and I forget which one it was, right? Like I was on board with that. I was like, that's 100% believable. No, it's not,
Jason
but I
X,
enjoyed
baby.
it. Yeah, dude, totally Jason X.
I am-
That was another. That was a movie that sort of made fun of itself, which is why
Yeah.
actually a lot of people did kind of like it. But anyway, but Fast and the Furious is probably one that like everybody liked it at the time when it came out. Again, I was working at Blockbuster Video at the time, and everybody's like, "Just Fast and Furious out yet? I want to totally get that." And I was like, "Why is everybody into this movie?" I don't even remember. I hadn't even heard of it, so I rented it when it came out, and I watched this, and I was like, "Oh my god, this movie is like nobody can act. It was just crap, right?" And it was just like a superficial plot and everything else. But again, I guess back then I was still looking through the lens of because I had gone to film school and everything else. So I was looking through the lens of like quality movie making. And it's like, I mean, I knew about entertaining and suspension of disbelief and just go in and have a good time. But I think that
Your
I
ego
appreciate
goggles.
that now more. But like, yeah, but Fast and the Furious, I don't know if Matthew's got another one he can think of offhand that's like, oh, Dad hates this movie.
It's not a.
I've only seen the Fast and the Furious once. I didn't like it, and so I've never seen any of the sequels.
I've
I
seen.
I don't
actually
think I've
thought-
seen any of the sequels either because I didn't
I
think it
thought
was that great of a movie,
recently-
just like you.
Yeah, I thought recently of going back and trying to rewatch it and then watching them all just once so that I could see what the hype was about, but I can't find the originals anywhere on streaming.
If you
It's
can
like, have to buy 'em.
handle and have any positive opinion about any Vin Diesel movie, then you are more likely to tolerate the Fast and the Furious movies. Otherwise,
movie
like
I've
if,
ever
I
seen
don't
him.
have anything against Vin Diesel.
what,
but
can
Fast
you,
and
can you
Furious
name a
movies
Vin
didn't
Diesel
just-
movie you actually like?
Pacifier.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
The
The
pacifier.
Pacifier movie is complete ass.
No.
No,
I
Guardians of the
He's
Galaxy.
done other stuff other than these. Just
Well, I
like-
mean,
Yeah.
Guardians
But-
of the Galaxy.
Saving
come
Private
on.
Ryan.
Yeah.
He's in
He
that.
played
Saving
Groot.
Private Ryan,
he's
yeah.
in, he's in that one.
But I'm not.
Okay.
He
hang on,
dies.
I'm not
but-
bagging on Vin
Like
Diesel.
a Vin Diesel vehicle, not like what he happened
Yeah, I know.
to be.
I know. I'm
hey,
joking.
he was in Iron Giant, and we all love Iron Giant.
Don't people like the Riddick movies or
I
Triple
thought
X?
I thought Pitch
No.
Black. I just the only one I saw. I didn't
I
see
thought
it
they
because
were
of
okay.
Riddick. I watched
I thought
Pitch
they were
Black. I
okay.
thought they were pretty okay. Yeah, I mean,
I
it
thought
was
they were terrible.
it was a formula movie, but well, Josh, you can
yeah.
have your
You
opinion.
have a unique sensibility,
Yes.
Josh. You really do. You
Yeah,
bring
I
a
do.
lot.
have your
to this.
opinion, Josh.
You bring a lot
I'm
of
kidding.
contrast to this.
Yeah. Anyway, so Fast and the Furious again. I like it now, and I like the series. You know, it's just it's just sit down again, turn your brain off, enjoyable watch. But when that first came out, oh man, when someone's like, "Oh man, wasn't that amazing?" and I was like, "No, it was not." Like it was crap from beginning to end. Like I don't understand it. Right?
That's
Stars and people.
Well,
Native
Star Wars
American.
is just Dune.
No, Star Wars is just the Seventh Samurai.
Oh!
No,
Man,
Star
I can't
Wars
wait
is
to put that
is
one up.
Dune.
I can't
Star
wait
Wars-
to put that one up. That's going up.
Damn!
Star Wars is nothing like Dune. Star
You
Wars
are
is like
go-
the Seventh
You
Samurai.
better start investing in bars and metal gates on your house. Seriously.
No, I think that's. I thought
my
that was
Lord.
I thought that was a generally agreed consensus.
You know what though? It
Shit.
honestly it is. Like a lot of people have said that. So,
but speaking of
I
Star
don't know.
Wars,
I've heard,
Dad,
but I don't see it. I've heard that people say it's like Dune, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I
It doesn't
don't see
have the
it.
deep political intrigue and structure
Right.
that Dune has.
No.
So to
Right,
say
right.
it is Dune is an unfair comparison. Neither
Yeah,
bagging on
yeah.
Star Wars
It
nor
is-
Dune.
It is a
I
lot
say
like the
that.
Seven Samurai, or at least A New Hope is a lot like the Seven
New
Samurai.
Hope is literally Dune, book 1. But okay.
that's another podcast. We'll deal
No,
with that
but
later.
Dad-
All right.
So speaking though, this just one more movie that you didn't like. You like it now. You didn't like it when it came out, and I can get it since we were talking about Star Wars. You didn't like Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones when they first came out. I
I
do
still don't
remember
like
that.
the Phantom Menace
Well,
or Attack of the Clone.
Yeah,
A lot of people,
but you like the
yeah,
sequels,
but
so,
you like 7, 8, and 9, and we agree to disagree. So we'll leave it right
Yeah.
there. So, but the thing, yeah, I didn't like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, but like anything else, I can say the same thing about. It's what made me pissed off when Tron Ares came out, and everybody's like, "Oh, Tron Legacy was so amazing." I remember when Tron Legacy came out in 2010.
Nobody
Yeah.
was
The
saying that.
critics bagged on it. Everybody bagged on it. I loved it from the
Yeah.
get-go because I was in
Yeah.
84. I went and saw Tron in the theater, and I was
82.
chomping at the bit.
82.
Sorry. 84 was a great year. That's what I always go back to. So it was the
Pops
best
out.
year ever. It was
'Cause of
yeah,
Dune.
it was the best. No, it
Because of
was
Dune.
You could list so many movies in '84 that were awesome.
dude. 84 to 86 was peak. It was peak
hell
movie
yeah.
going.
But
Do you know how many
I was
movies?
4 years
like-
old, so I guess I didn't. I
but
guess I'm
to get
just
back
brag.
to Tron,
I wasn't
past you
even
guys.
born yet, Heather. Just kidding.
but
I was
to get
not
back
working
to
at
Tron,
Blockbuster in 1984. Let me just put that out there. Okay,
Just
I'm
the
not that
movie
old.
theater.
I just
So-
want to note I'm not the one who put us down this rabbit hole this time. This is
Yeah.
all everyone
Good
else.
point.
So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to go through
Okay.
final verdicts. I got 3 questions for everybody, right? And there's no particular order like you want to chime in. So any movie tonight that we feel like deserves a second chance, a second viewing, a that we said that we hated and everybody loved, or you loved it and everybody's like, oh my God, why do you like that movie? Does anybody feel like they need to give something a second chance? Like Forrest Gump, give it a second chance.
No.
Like Dune,
But
1984, give it a second chance. Nobody feels like they need to go back.
Absolutely. Everybody should give
I
that one a
love that
second
movie.
I
chance.
think I'll say this.
Especially
I am gonna,
because of Villeneuve. Especially because of Villeneuve, they should
I
look back.
don't like the new ones. I don't.
No,
even
Absolutely.
though
I am
I
gonna
know
watch-
that the
I've
new
never
ones are
seen
more.
the old one, so
I know that the new ones are more faithful to the books. I
They
don't
are-
care. The
they are
David Lynch
artsy
one
as
was
fuck.
absolutely cool.
They're
Yeah.
too.
I
it takes
enjoy
you
that.
out of it. You take it.
I
It takes
like
you
that.
out of it. They're so artsy.
Hold
oh
on,
my
wait,
god!
you're gonna
So wait,
say
hang on. We're not going to have
David
a Dune
Lynch-
discussion. We're wrapping
David
up,
Lynch
not
was
opening
very
another
artsy.
podcast. So everybody F off and answer my question. Let me talk. All right. I was going to say for me, because I'm kind and I agree
Okay,
to
guys,
disagree,
I'll meet you
I'm
on
going
another
to watch,
channel.
no,
Bob will be.
shh. Yeah, I'm going to watch 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, I was going to say
Cool.
that's going to be the
Okay.
one
I'm going
that
to watch that.
intrigued
I'm going
me.
to I have no opinion of it because
I've
I
never
only
seen it, but I would
Yeah,
consider
so-
it.
Go-
everybody
Based on
who's
watch the
watching and
kill count again.
listening, if you haven't seen 13 Ghosts or Dune 1984, you need to go watch those, and we'll do a quiz next
Just
week.
form
No,
an
I'm kidding. There
opinion.
won't be a
That's all
quiz.
I'm saying.
No
Form an
quiz, no
opinion.
quizzes.
Educate
No
yourself
quizzes.
and
No
form an
quizzes.
opinion.
All right.
You said you have
The-
3 questions.
All right, the third. Okay, so no one else wants to go. Matthew,
No.
you wanna go?
Oh, I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say I've heard great things about Encino Man. I've not taken the time to see it, which is weird because I like Brendan Fraser
Yeah, that
and
was a good
Polly
movie.
Shore. So
It was a good movie.
I'm going to
It's
take the
good.
time to see that one.
It's fun,
And
and
Son-in-Law.
it's
I've seen
yeah,
Son-in-Law
it's
many
a
times.
roll your eyes funny.
I'd
kind
have
of
to
stuff.
refresh.
We
my
have
opinion.
Son-in-Law
Same
on
type of
VHS
thing.
still.
All
so
right.
It's
All right,
very similar.
Did
Pauly Shore is
anybody-
always Pauly Shore. So
I've seen Biodome too. So anyway, go ahead.
Does anybody feel like anybody's take tonight was completely insane? Don't go on Josh because we already know.
Okay.
But joking, Josh. I'm joking. We love you. I love
Star
you.
Wars is Dune. That was the insane take.
That was the complete.
Well, that was an
the
aside.
insane take.
That was an aside. But
That was
I
not
thought you
what
were
we
going to
did in
say
the episode.
I thought you were going to
It
say
was-
my Ridley Scott take was the insane one.
I don't
that
think
kinda
so.
get-
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, but like we talked about Kubrick, and that could, people could say the same thing. Like, oh my God, I love every Kubrick movie because he's so artsy fartsy. But then, it's like, I don't think it's an insane take. That really comes down to director's style, right?
Heather,
I think
Heather,
the
what-
insane take is that I like The Last Airbender. And
No,
everybody,
well, that's
every
just...
Nickelodeon
just
fan's
don't
going to
know
be
anything
like,
Are you saying the
about it,
one
yeah.
we disagreed with the other people about the most?
no,
Is
which
that what you're
take
saying?
did you think was completely which?
No, like
Did
I
you
can't
like-
say anything about The Last Airbender. I've never seen a single episode
Yeah.
of the show. I've never
Yeah.
seen the movie. I know
Okay.
nothing about it other than a kid with a blue arrow on his head.
So, all right,
That was
so
about
let me go.
that was about the width of that movie. I'll tell you.
Heather,
All
what
right.
was your movie that you didn't like but everybody else loves? What was
Oh,
that?
Rocky
Me?
Horror. Rocky Horror. Yeah.
No, I get that. Okay. That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
insane.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not as insane as we thought.
It's only
so.
a wild. That one's only a wild take to the really cult followers of it. So
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
3 people.
Again,
who
I can't
watch and
disagree
listen.
with you on the movie itself. Now, if you said the
Okay.
audience experience was terrible and that whole build up around it and the whole culture around it and the experience around it that got built up was bad, then we'd fight. But the movie itself on its own merits,
Well, we wouldn't fight.
I can't get all my dander up about that.
And then my final question before Josh takes us out is, and not in a bad way, I mean,
Takes
like
us
closes
out,
the
yeah,
show.
for our,
yeah,
for
yeah.
our insane
It's
opinion.
been hot. It's been hot. It's been a hot show. Anyway, did anyone feel like their minds were changed, or at least did it feel like you're like, yeah, that's a good point? Because again, we agree to disagree, even though we're poking at each other tonight. But I mean, like, did anybody think like, oh, that's a fair take?
Well, it's kind of similar to the second chances. Is at least being willing to give a movie a second chance is changing someone's mind in the direction of
At the very least,
taking
it's,
an action
convincing
that they
them
wouldn't have
to-
taken
Well,
otherwise.
It's kind of similar.
sort of.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think anybody's statements about movies changed my mind necessarily.
Mm.
But yeah, like you said, that like considering watching it,
Yeah.
maybe
Matthew,
that's-
what were you going to say?
I think I could get on board. I mean, I love Hook, but I could get on board in that compared to other movies that were released in the 90s. Darren had a point that it's not as elevated as other fantasy movies around that time that were released around that time. And then
Well, I was going back
Josh's-
6 years to Neverending Story, but that's
well, regardless, it's I mean
I
within
wasn't
that
going
decade,
forward
right?
to the 90s too far.
Yeah.
So
Early 90s, late 80s. Yeah.
And then Josh's point about Forrest Gump, I could see how it doesn't change my mind. I still enjoy the movie, but it's not, I could see where your complaints came from. So again, not mind changing, but I get where you're coming from. I could see why you don't like Forrest Gump.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
right. You can
Yeah.
accept his reasonings and justification,
Yeah.
and still disagree with him. Yes.
You
So what
can,
you're
dare
saying
I
is you
say,
can agree
agree
to
We
disagree.
can agree to
We can
disagree.
disagree.
Yeah.
And
funny
on
concept
that
there.
note-
Okay.
No, on that note,
We-
y'all need
we
to do
have
some
merch, don't
homework
we?
on you need to do some homework on Star Wars' inspiration and go read Dune and tell me it's not the same
Suppose-
freaking story.
I think that this has been a really good show, that I enjoyed doing this a lot. I want to thank Bob, Matthew, Darren, and Heather, in no particular order, for doing the show with me. As we have said already multiple times, next week we're going to have Ben from Cinema Gulp joining us again, and we're going to talk about the Avengers Infinity War, which I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm sorry that we couldn't do it this week, but beyond our control. But I hope everyone has enjoyed. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, make tomorrow better than yesterday.